Welcome everybody to my Boros Mentor post Ravnica deck list for standard format. I think this is probably the most dominant deck that's going to be in the format after playtesting it over and over and over again and checking the hands, the consistency, the brutalness of the deck. I think there's just not much that can really stand up to it, especially with everything in here to help protect it. Going into the deck, starting off with our lowest end drops. Healer Hawk. Now, it's a 1-drop, flying a lifelink. It's really good to start off with, and yes, it's just a 1/1, but because of Mentor, it's going to be getting pretty big pretty fast, and by turn 3, it's a possibility of getting him up even bigger. It's really easy in this deck, especially if I hit a Goblin Banneret and a Healer's Hawk first 2 turns. By turn 3, I could have a 2/2 Healer's Hawk swinging in the air, giving me life, you know, being unstoppable. And then once I get to something like Tajic or Aurelia, make him even bigger, and especially with Aurelia's ability. Next onto the list, it would be Dauntless Bodyguard. Now it's just it's a 1-drop 2/1, which is really good already for some damage. Also, being able to sacrifice it to give my creature indestructible is key, since there's so much destruction in the format. Yes, there's exile like Vraska's Contempt and such, but it's by turn 4, I'm hoping to put enough damage into that Vraska's Contempt is not going to be my worst enemy, you know, taking off 1 creature when I still got a field full. But this is going to help protect against destruction and board wipes. If somebody hits a board wipe, I'm going to try to usually have like 3 or 4 creatures on the field, not counting tokens. Yeah, I can at least save one of my main pieces and just easily refill the low drops. Next up is Goblin Banneret. It's another 1-drop. We play 12 1-drops in the deck. We want to make sure we see the turn 1 1-drop. And turn 2, maybe 2 1-drops. You know, have 3 on the board and putting in damage as much as we can. And especially with the Mentor ability, they start getting big fast, especially when I can bump him up by 2. And that's what's really great about him. Not only does he have Mentor ability, he's a 1-drop, a 1/1. He can also boost himself up, so you can start boosting up the lower. You know, he's constantly able to use his Mentor ability, especially if you got a clear run. Next up is Sunhome Stalwart. And he's my first 2-drop for the deck, and him having first strike is key, especially if I have a Banneret on field. Banneret, just pump him up once, it's enough to give Sunhome another counter. A 3/3 with first strike at that point is even better, and it just pays for itself, especially as he gets bigger and bigger. Up next is Swiftblade Vindicator. It's my other 2-drop, and he may be only a 1/1, but again, with Goblin Banneret, it gets to be a 2/2, and having double strike vigilance and trample is nasty, especially when you got Aurelia on the field giving him +2 during combat, and he already has vigilance and trample, so you don't have to worry about that. But that +2 is amazing, plus being Mentored popped up with Tajic or anything like that is just brutal. Going on to my 3-drop, that'll be Legion Warboss. He has Mentor also. And also at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste to the end of the turn, and it attacks this combat if able. Now, being able to create a token, and that it has haste, and the fact that he has Mentor, it's going to be a 2/2 if you attack with Warboss that turn. And plus you get it right away on the beginning of combat, so if you have Goblin Banneret on the field, which you most likely will have, or you know, anything else on the field, he's going to get bigger from the Mentor ability as well. Now we run 4 of every one of these in this deck, just because it's just a creature heavy deck. You want to see all of these. You want to get to one of your 1-drops. It doesn't matter which one. You want to have your 2-drops. These are your utility 2-drops, and then you get to your 3-drops, which are the Legion Warboss, and the other one is Tajic. And going on the Tajic, he has haste, which is amazing right away. So he's attacking with Mentor as a 3/2. And his second ability is what makes him so amazing. Now, I would have said, you know, he's legendary. I was going to drop him down. but every time I wanted to make sure I seen him in hand if I could. The better chance of me having him in my hands, the better, and plus having multiple copies isn't bad. His second ability, being able to prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. That's completely amazing. I can stop things like lightning strike, burning spells. That's completely amazing. And then the fact that he can give himself first strike also into the earn turn is completely amazing. So you get on turn 5, you have to drop one out turn 5, you get him first strike, and he's able to prevent any kind of burn damage to himself. And all the other creatures as well, which is pretty good. So they can't be hit with, for instance, like cut out this little section. Alright, come back in 1, 2, 3. Moving on to Aurelia. She's one of the key pieces of the deck. Why? 1, she has flying. That's completely amazing right there. She's a 4-drop, so easy to put out. She's the highest card on my curve. Having Mentor with flying, which is amazing, so I don't have to worry about losing her to that. And also at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to one target creature you control until the end of the turn. That creature gets +2/0 and gains trample if it's red and gains vigilance if it's white. Now, of course, every creature in my deck's red and white, so either they're going to get vigilance or trample, which are both great. And there's a lot of dual color ones, which means they're going to get both vigilance and trample. And the fact that it gives another creature, at the beginning of combat, gives another creature to, you don't have to attack. So you give +2 to a Banneret, you give +2 to a Tajic. Makes them bigger to make these guys even bigger, which is completely amazing. And then since she's a 2/5, your Tajic can bump her up, especially since you're going to be bumping him up with him. So basically what she does is bump somebody else up so that they can give her a bump up because of Mentor. That's it for creatures, so we're going on to the next card, which is Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike deals 3 damage to our creature player. We all know what Lightning Strike does. Basically, especially since you're aggro, putting in 3 damage onto a player is really big, especially when you're hitting them for so much damage. That last 3 damage or the last 6 damage can come from a Lightning Strike. We run 4 copies of that, and then the only card in the deck that does not run 4 copies is the Justice Strike. I run only 2 in the main, just because there's a lot of creatures not going to die from this. But also, if they take damage from a combat, I can use this to take out the rest of them. Anything like that, Justice Strike could be good for that. I didn't want to run 4 of it, and I wanted to make it really creature heavy. And basically the sideboard is going to be filled with more removal. And another reason for this is control. There's a lot of control in my locals as well. And there's a lot of control currently in Standard. And the other deck I built for Standard is Control, which I'll be making a video of next. And so I don't, unless you're playing against another Boros deck, which at that point you're gonna run more of these, along with running, other burn spells as well for white, and also Ixalan's Binding and such like that for removal as well. But this is supposed to be just a quick aggro, kind of in-your-face beat-down deck. You can also maybe lower the land count. Land count is 22. And put more Justice Strikes in there as well. This deck, I've been testing between 20 and 22. I'm still trying to figure out where my sweet spot is. And I'll be still continuing testing it out and improving on it. But through the multiple decks that I've built and tested throughout Standard currently with Ravnica stuff, this seems to me is the most dominant, hard-hitting, and most violent deck in the format. And it withstands... It does really good against Control. Control can stop maybe one of my creatures. But I have so many of them, I just keep dropping them down one after another. And especially since Control is losing a lot, I know these do have some pretty good things that's going to be a problem, but as long as you play smart, you shouldn't have to worry about it. No, at least not too much. And I said you're going to be putting enough damage that by turn 4, when you get chance to be getting Settle the Wreckage against, and if you're playing against white, at that point, you just play smart. Let me know what you guys think about my Boros Mentor Ravnica deck list for Standard. What you would change to it, what you would add to it, your ideas on different Standard decks in the format, and let me know what you honestly think. All the testing I've done, it seems to be quite amazing, and I currently don't have MTGO, but when I do, I would like to get on there and start testing as well. But I've play tested against friends on here, and against other decks I've created as well. So I really like it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please give me a like and subscribe to my video to see more Magic videos and of course other videos we bring. And as always, check out our channel, the TriGamer Studio. We do a lot of content for video games and for Magic and whatever else. Multiple people in the team play Magic as well. And come on back and watch some more videos. I'll be bringing the demo deck for you guys here soon. And this is it for me. Shadow out.